Hey there! Welcome to the second part of our Fresh Voices and Big Visions episode where we chat with this year's Title Nine's PitchFest finalists and learn a little bit about each one. Stay tuned for PitchFest updates this weekend and next week. It's all going down Friday, the 26th. So if you're listening to it after, still be sure to tune in, find out what happens, and watch out for some live Instagram stories and such like that over the weekend. But get ready to meet some more amazing women who are out there pitching themselves and putting their brand out into the world. We have another set of co-founders here for the Title Nine PitchFest 2025 finalist episode here. We've got Sam and Abby of Saturday Strides. I'm scrolling their website right now. I always like to have everyone's up as we record, but they're just like the cutest little socks. And I think you all would, and more than that, I mean, I see that you guys have hoodies and hats and more merch and whatnot, but I'm excited to dive into like what started Saturday Strides and what you're all about, what differentiates you from everyone else. And with that, I do want to start off asking where you guys are in the world as we record today. So, Sam, do you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego, California right now.
Abby, and what about you? Where are you at as we record today?
I'm located in Utah County, just south of Salt Lake City.
Will you guys tell us a little bit about Saturday Strides, your kind of quick elevator pitch?
Yeah, Saturday Stride started in May of 2024 when we were on a double date with our husbands, and we quickly, we met for the very first time and just immediately connected. We knew that we were gonna be good friends forever after that moment, but we were talking and just wanted to create something bigger than us and something a movement, and we are both super passionate about running and wanted to build off of that. We noticed that there was, a gap in the market in women's apparel for running specifically. There were tons of clothes options, but when it came to socks, they were all just boring and, made for men. So from there, Saturday Strides was born, and we've been working on it and thinking about it ever since.
Amazing. I love that you pretty much answered the next question anyway, too, of what gap you're filling in the market. We can go into a little more detail about that with you guys telling us exactly what the sock gap is you're filling in that market.
Yeah, we decided that we wanted to create a performance ruffle sock. So that was something we had never seen sold before. So there's like performance socks, and then there's obviously cute ruffle socks, but nothing was really bridging the gap between the two of having something that was like a high performance ruffle sock. So that was our first product and our best seller since. It's the Saturday ruffle. So that is like our trademark of how we're kind of trying to bridge the gap. And since then, we've just been expanding our product offerings and business just to continue that path.
I love it. It gives me very scenic vibes. The who was last year's Title Nine winners of Pitch Fest with them and making the very technical like hiking gear or just technical apparel, but it is trend forward as well. So it's like, why can't we have things that are cute and functional? Why do we have to choose fashion over function and vice versa? Like we're women, we want to do all the things, but we also want to be able to pay tribute to our feminine side. And do you have a moment that was kind of like that aha main moment where you were like, this is what we're going to do, a ruffle sock?
Yeah, it was at that dinner that we, just were running through business ideas back and forth, bouncing ideas, and as soon as the idea of the running came up, it kind of just clicked for both of us, and it was like no other idea mattered. We just knew that's exactly what we needed to be doing and what we wanted to be doing, and that's where our passion lied, and we just created and grew the idea from there.
So this was 2024, right? That you went to market.
Yeah, we actually, it took us a while to get products. So we've been working since basically last summer, but we weren't really able to launch until January of this year. So we were kind of in a waiting period, trying to build our brand. One other thing we did is we created videos about the Saturday Ruffle before we even launched it anywhere. So that 6 month process was kind of like a building experience for Saturday Strides and for us without even having products. And it was like a super great validation phase to realize that what we were dreaming about, like this product that we thought about over dinner, was actually something that people would be interested in just because of the organic feedback we got from social media.
That's so cool, and the fact that it was, like, January that you launched and had product for the people, now it's September, you know what, 9 months later, you guys are going to Title Nine PitchFest. Can you tell us a little bit about, like, what being a finalist in this PitchFest with Title Nine means to you?
Oh, we're seriously so excited and so grateful. We talk about it multiple times a day, all day long. Um, we we really are nothing without our community, and our community is women. So being able to go to this pitch fest and connect with other like-minded women who essentially like we all have the same goals and are a part of the same greater mission is really exciting for us. And so we're grateful and excited to go and to learn and to connect with as many people as we can.
This has been such a fun journey for me connecting with Title Nine and doing this collaboration and getting to talk to the previous winners, plus all of you for 2025, getting to learn about your brands and your stories. And, you know, there's a wide variety, some who have been at Pitch Fest before, who are in their first year, like you guys with product, and everyone is just so stoked to support each other and be a part of what it feels like Title Nine is truly creating like a real network and community where people can build
Mhm.
off of each other and are taking so much from it way beyond just Pitch Fest. So I just love hearing from your own words because everyone is just reinforcing again the values and the core mission of Pitch Fest and Title Nine and what seems to align with your own as well. And that leads me into wondering, in this short amount of time, what has been the biggest growth lesson for your brand?
Oh man, so many lessons. I would say the biggest one
True.
for me is that it's really easy to feel imposter syndrome, especially as a woman in business. And um, I think it's always scary to think, are people going to like my idea or are they going to think it's silly? Like I'm really putting myself out there. And I feel like one thing that we have learned and talk about all the time is that we honestly have the power to learn anything and like really accomplish anything, whether it's learning how to run ads or learning how to make a website. It's like scary to feel like you have to go accomplish those things as a business owner, but it honestly has like brought so much confidence, I feel like, to us that we are able to start something from just an idea in our heads and we can really learn the tools to make it grow. So that's been super cool. I've never had an experience where it's like we've built something completely from scratch and are like acquiring skills every day to keep it growing. So super cool, especially as a female founder.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything she said. The only thing that I would really add on to that is that, every day is just a learning experience, and sometimes we feel like we're alone in this, but, like, once we realize that others are going through the same challenges, maybe not exactly the same, but similar to what we're going through, and we really can lean on each other and, lean on those around us to continue to grow, and really just, like, seeing the broader vision is what makes us excited and keeps us motivated through those highs and lows.
I completely resonate. I think I've resonated with everyone I've talked to so far about what their, like, biggest growth lesson is because as you said, Sam, there's so many lessons, and you can take these into different aspects of your life. So it's an incredible journey being on, like, building your own business and growing your own business from scratch. So it's constantly learning and evolving. And to speak to what you said, Abby, about just you do feel alone sometimes, but you know people have gone through something similar, or you have people to lean on. Again, I think that just speaks so much to what Title Nine is all about. And as I'm learning more and more with every interview throughout this series, like just my love for them is growing too. And I'm seeing it in that it is so much about collaboration and supporting each other and knowing that you're not alone and sharing resources or just being kind of like a shoulder to lean on and be like, hey, I've been in the trenches too. You'll get out of it. Sometimes we just need an ear to like listen instead of give the advice, and I think that
Mhm.
that's the community that's being built and that you guys are getting to kind of experience firsthand right now through this experience with the Pitch Fest. And
Totally.
now, kind of looking into the future, what would you say is like the boldest vision that you have for the brand?
We're
We
dreamers
have a
over here.
big
We talk
vision.
I was gonna say the vision's never ending, and it's added on to every single day. But I would say one of the constant things is that we wanna continue connecting with our community as many ways as possible. We want to get Saturday strides in as many hands as possible and to continue to empower women, um, to be their healthiest versions of themselves, to get outside and to be active. And we would love to start doing more community events and traveling around to be able to do those community events. It's kind of surprising because I'm located in Utah and Sam is obviously located in California, but some of our biggest markets are in California or Utah. So we would love to just continue to connect with those all around us and doing those community events.
And you kind of alluded to this, Abby, in answering that last question, but what keeps you guys fired up to keep chasing this dream? I would definitely love to hear from each of you and what that unique to you inspiration is.
I feel like hearing from other people, it has been super beneficial in our business experience. So when we are able to connect with like runners on our Instagram or TikTok or through email or whatever it might be, who have had experiences with our products and who've enjoyed the experiences, it's just so cool to see that people are actually really passionate about not just like the sock or our business, but just kind of like our greater purpose. And, so I know that every time, like, Abby and I talk about, like, our vision and where we're going, I feel, like, super motivated and fired up to keep working. And kind of, like, going along with Abby said with our goals, like, we wanna be a big player in the running industry and especially in sock industry. And so just, like, seeing where we want to be and seeing, like, how far we've come has just been super exciting for me.
I totally agree. Like it definitely just knowing what our vision is and where we want to go and being the big players that we do want to be is really what keeps us motivated and keeps our head down. So and just continuing to work hard and working towards those goals and dreams.
Awesome. Well, I can just envision Saturday strides in several stores I've been in that are a little more, especially around here, like boutique-y, but there's a interesting intersect between boutique and specialty outdoor that I think exists, and I know one particularly in Truckee that is, like, gives boutique, like, vibes, but it's definitely outdoor specialty retail, and yeah, I'm, like, literally can see this product, the Saturday Ruffle, like,
Aw.
hanging on the walls, so
Aw.
I
That's
think
so
you guys
sweet.
Thank
have
you.
something awesome, and I'm excited to see where your journey goes. Can't wait to connect at PitchFest, and with that, will you let the audience know how they can follow you and follow along the journey of Saturday Strides?
Yeah, you can follow us on our Instagram or on our TikTok. It's just at Saturday Strides and check out our website too. It has like some info about our community and just how to be an involved member of the community. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and again, I will see you very soon at PitchFest.
Yay. Thank you,
Thank
Taryn.
you.
We are here with Anna Myers of Dirty Birdie. This is a fun one because I feel like it's a little bit different than what we've been talking about with what you've got with Dirty Birdie being a women's workwear. Our listeners out there, at least our longtime listeners, have definitely heard me talk about women's workwear. And I feel like it can be interesting making that tie to the outdoors and how, that might all come under the Title Nine umbrella. But as you also all know out there, that Title Nine is just championing women. So I can't wait to dive in a little bit, Anna, and hear about Dirty Birdie. But first off, will you tell us all where you are located as we record today?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in Northern California. I'm based in the Santa Cruz Mountains, so just inland from Santa Cruz in the Bay Area.
So cool, we're basically neighbors, so
Basically. Couple hours,
I
I'll have to come visit you.
absolutely, I had big dreams when I moved to Tahoe, like, 10 years ago. I was like, I'm finally gonna become the surfer gal that I always wanted to be. I'm gonna go to Santa Cruz every weekend, blah, blah, blah. I haven't been once. I've been a couple times, but I haven't been to surf, so, I mean, it's still, I'm like, "It's not too late. I can still do this," but
I
now I
know,
have
it's
more
hard to
reason. I
find the
know
time.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
for sure.
well, in your words, will you give the audience your elevator pitch of Dirty Birdie? Give us a little bit of what you are, what the mission is, and all that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So Dirty Birdie is a women's workwear brand. And I should preface, we're actually a fairly young brand. We only just launched in March of this year. So it's only been a couple months, but I've been pleasantly surprised at the kind of traction and um, I guess, fan base that we've seen already, but Dirty Birdie's a workwear brand that we make clothes that are tough, functional, stylish, and specifically made for women. And I say that because a lot of the especially big name workwear brands, it seems like the women's line is very much an afterthought. They oftentimes take the men's pants and just like shrink the measurements. And as we know, women's body are made entirely different than men. That's what makes them amazing. So made specifically to fit women to feel really good when you put them on, comfort, durability, all that good stuff. We have pants to start. So we have three different pants. We have a carpenter pant, which is kind of a classic work pant, kind of like Carhartt. And then we have a utility legging, which has a double fabric on the knee as well as on the bum and some reinforced pockets. And then we have a boot cut pant that has also reinforced pockets and double fabric on the bum. So yeah, really our goal is to design, clothes that are durable enough to hold up to the wear and tear on a job site, but also stylish and flexible enough to fit into really everyday life. You didn't feel like you could only wear them in the workshop or only wear them on the construction site or, on the job site or whatever you might be doing. And I think that's one of the amazing things about workwear is that it's applicable to so many different places and things and jobs, whether you're a farmer, an artist, a builder, a maker, there's a ton of different applications there. But I guess more so on kind of the mission side of it, our goal is to empower women to really feel confident and unstoppable and, to be able to tackle those projects or hobbies that maybe you didn't think you could before.
I love it. I mean, I think you're totally right with when you think, at least when I think workwear, just because I grew up in a household coming from a trade background, that you think of like just like this work, laboring, this, that, but it's
Yeah.
really spans so many categories, especially for women. We're so versatile. And it's like, yeah, you're doing so many different things where you're just getting dirty, right?
Yeah.
And so you
Yeah.
want clothes that are durable, can get you through that, be comfortable too. And
Yeah.
I mentioned this in one of our other interviews too. It's like we're still women who maybe want to be able to show that feminine side and like
Yeah.
feel good, like look
Yes.
cute, whatever that is. Like, why can't we just feel good in like quote unquote work clothes too? Um,
100%. a
I think
hundred
with all
percent.
that, you pretty much kind of answered like what in a way, I guess, alluded to what gap you're filling in the outdoor industry. Is there anything else that you would fill in with that question of like where the gap is that Dirty Birdie fits into or fills rather?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of reiterate what you said, like, not having to choose between fit or flattering or function, like just being able to cover all of those. And I think kind of tying back to the outdoor industry, one of the things that before I even started Dirty Birdie or kind of as I was starting it, I didn't really think about was how versatile the application, or I guess I don't know if application is the right word, but for lack of a better word, application of the pants may be. Like I said, I've gotten it's been so amazing to see, like, so many badass women doing so many badass things. Like, I've had, geologists reach out to me, like, field ecologists, like, people out in the field. So I guess tying back to the outdoor industry, like, one girl who does, like, she cuts trees for a living. She, like, climbs up trees and does, like, tree trimming, and it's like, "Whoa, I would have never, like, guessed someone like that need a pair of pants like this." So it's been really cool to see the different applications. Or like I had a girl who is in vet school reach out to me and she was like, "Hey, I'm a studying to be a large animal vet and I go out to like barns and ranches all the time and I need pants like this, like, every day. This is amazing. I love these so much." And even, like, less so on the kinda maybe durable or, like, working front, like, people like photographers. Like, one
Mm,
lady reached out to me and she was like, "I'm a wedding photographer, so I'm on my hands and knees all the time trying to get the right angle, and so I need pants that, like, that are gonna hold up, but also, like, look nice because I'm at a wedding." So, it's been really cool to see kind of how many people need this type of pant that's, durable, comfortable, flexible, performs well, but then again, also, as we talked about, you just feel really good in. Like, I think when I think of, like, women's style, like, I don't need, like, pink or frills or anything, but something that accentuates maybe, like, a women's body would be
mhm.
great, or that's made to fit a women's body. So, yeah, it's been amazing.
I 100% agree with that, where I'm not very pink or ruffly
Yeah.
type. I can appreciate it out there for sure. I think it's adorable and looks cute on other people and can stand behind any brand who that is their style. But then, like, for me personally, I'm like, well, might not be my first choice, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still do want a fit, right? That feels flattering and fits my body shape that is just, you know, not straight slim man.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
exactly. Exactly.
uh, would you say that there was one moment that was your aha moment that inspired you to start Dirty Birdie?
Well, I guess kinda tying back to your last comment, it honestly was born from personal need. So, my husband and I bought our first house in the Santa Cruz Mountains in 2020, and it's like the definition of a livable fixer-upper, like bright orange carpet in the entire house, saloon doors in the hallway, mustard yellow kitchen appliances. Like, it feels like you're walking into grandma's house. But we, had these grand plans of fixing it up ourselves just to, save money as young, broke 20-something-year-olds. But I don't really know the thought process there because I didn't even really know how to use a drill before we moved in. So, anyway, slowly over, the first year or two, I started, learning my way around the workshop and was eventually taking on projects all by myself, building things, fixing up things around the house. And it was like super empowering to stand back after a challenging project and be like, wow, I built that or I fixed that. But and so that's part of kind of, I guess, time back to our mission. Like, I want other women to be able to feel that. It's such an electrifying feeling. But, anyways, back to kind of where it all began. I was typically wearing my nice yoga or running leggings when I was working on these just because
Mhm.
that was what's comfortable and flexible for me to move in. And they just didn't hold up. I, of course, put holes in all of them, typically on the knees or in the bum area. And so I went online to go buy some actual durable pants. And I ordered a few from various different brands, mostly the bigger name brands. But when I got them and tried them on, to your point, I was like, I these do not fit well at all. I feel like a boy, and I felt really frumpy, and I did not feel good, and so I kinda just had this, like, moment of, "Well, if I can't find what I'm looking for, then I'll just go make it." So that was when the idea of Dirty Birdie kind of took root, I guess. I was like, "I can't be the only one that wants this type of pant," and especially in that, like, I feel like with COVID, there was kind of that big DIY boom, and people were
Mhm.
home all day every day, so they were like, "I want my home to look nice, I wanna fix it up," and so I feel like a lot of people got into, like, crafting and, like, home improvement and those types of things, so I figured again, yeah, I was like, "I can't be the only one." So,
Yeah.
uh
Absolutely, I talk about that a lot on the podcast. It's like, if you have the thought, the idea, the feeling, the whatever, there with the amount of people that there are in this world, the odds are you are not the only one with that. It's part of the mission
Yes.
of why I started the podcast. If I wanna hear these stories, someone else out there does too. So,
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're not
Definitely.
you're not alone on your island. You might feel alone on your island, but there's a need somewhere for it. The hardest part is probably finding those people that resonate and relate to whatever that story is or whatnot that you're trying to tell. And you mentioned that you just launched what, March of this year?
Yeah, yeah, we just
Incredible.
launched.
Absolutely
Thanks.
incredible. I know there's a couple other brands in this series in the Title Nine PitchFest finalists who are also within a year of launching. And that's
Yeah.
incredible to me and what you guys are doing in the fact that it's so, like, new and you are going for these big things. So what does it mean for you to be a Title Nine finalist, especially in just, like, the first few months of, like, your actual launch?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's been super surreal. It's been, so much to me to be a finalist. I feel like more than anything, it's just like validation of kind of our mission and the problem or gap that we're trying to solve for. Not having to choose between comfort and durability and style. I think on a deeper level, it's just like people believe wholeheartedly that women really can do anything that men can. Like we were talking about, I feel like the clothing industry is just a couple decades behind. And I feel like when I was first exploring the idea of Dirty Birdie, I couldn't fathom why there was so many, like a gazillion and one options for men and hardly any for women. And I feel like the clothing industry just hasn't caught up. I feel like with the historical, I guess, like cultural kind of thought or like ideology that the trades and tough work and getting your hands dirty is only just men is like so outdated and so not true anymore. There's
Mhm.
so women, there's more women in trades now than ever. There's more women doing these things that typically men have been doing, and just the clothing industry hasn't caught up. And I think people are seeing that. And being a finalist, I feel like just means having not just means, but does mean having a broader voice through Pitch Fest to really celebrate that and celebrate like the fearless women that are kind of breaking those like historical norms, I guess, which is amazing. It's also just been such an honor to like learn a lot alongside so many other amazing female founders. I haven't even met any of them in person yet, and I'm like, I love you all. So
Yeah.
it's been so fun. I've never really had a business mentor yet or been involved in a community like this before, so it's been, such a fun and incredible experience so far, and I'm super excited to see where it goes and excited for the event coming up.
So cool. I love hearing it all from your own words that this true sense of community that Title Nine has a huge hand in building, raise all women voices and know that like there is so much of a need for all of this that it doesn't have to just be one person or brand that we're championing that we're behind and supporting, right? Like just there is so much movement and I think one thing that all of us have in common, the past finalists I've had on and you guys this year of 2025 that I've had on is that the focus is women first. We're tired of being thought of second. This
Yeah,
great idea of like, oh, let's try the men's first. And then if it does well, we'll make a women's version that still isn't made truly for women by women. So
yeah,
I love that for sure that that's
yeah.
that's the goal of like I said, I think it's the common goal of all of us like no women first because we are women and it's
Definitely.
it's about time we like
Yeah,
step into
I
those
know.
spaces. So
I know, I love that that's Title Nine's, like, whole mission and what they're all about. It's amazing.
absolutely, and it's incredible to be a part of, like, in this short amount of time, March to now, and obviously you were working on this well before March of this year.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious what your biggest growth lesson has been so far since starting Dirty Birdie and
Oh, man, I feel like there's been so many lessons learned. On the business side, I feel like one of the hardest things to learn is, and that I didn't really anticipate, was the inventory and kind of forecasting. You pretty much just like, you need a magic 8 ball. You're trying to predict, like, who's gonna buy, how many people are gonna buy, like, the whole inventory thing is, extremely challenging, and, it depends on too, like, what your lead time is on the product, like, how long does it take to actually manufacture or make your product and then get it to you and have it available? Because you don't want you obviously want to, have the right amount of inventory, but you don't wanna, like, sell out too fast because then you're not gonna have inventory for a while, and you don't want that, like, gap where you're gonna
Mhm.
lose customers and momentum, but also, like, you don't wanna have this huge overstock because then you're, losing money on inventory that's just sitting there. So that's been a challenging piece on the business side, and maybe it's just because 'cause we're so young too, so there's not a ton of data to work off of in terms of,
Well
like, okay, month by month, like, how much are we selling and what can we
yeah,
project based off of that? Um, so I think
and
over time, that'll hopefully get easier.
I mean, also, like, it's just the time that
Yeah.
everything that's happening
Yeah.
doesn't add to the ease of that. It just adds more challenge to all of that, I'm sure. That an incredibly challenging time to try and get your hands on that, figure that out. So at least again, you're not alone, I'm sure, in that challenge, even from brands who have been in the game for a long time. This is a very trying time to figure out
Yeah.
forecasting, I'm sure. But I mean, not to like downplay your struggles as a new business owner whatsoever, but it's,
No, no,
again,
not at
gotta
all.
be so, so challenging at this moment.
Yeah, and then just on the personal side, I was gonna say real quick, just, like, having to put yourself out there and, you know, put yourself outside of your comfort zone. It's something that I feel like as I was starting, I didn't really anticipate having to do over and over and over all the time, basically. And you really do as an entrepreneur. But I feel like such a beauty in that also because it means that you're growing so much. Like it's one of the fastest way to grow and to learn more about yourself. And so, yeah, it's been challenging and exciting and scary, but also extremely rewarding, so all the things.
So cool, and, like, just, such a short amount of time. I like, you guys all inspire me with what you're doing with all your businesses. I'm wondering in this, in a short time, what your boldest vision right now is that you have for Dirty Birdie in the long scheme.
Yeah, I love to dream big. When I think of the future of Dirty Birdie, I picture us being just a go-to name brand for women's workwear worldwide. Tongue twister. But also just more than the clothing, I hope to inspire and empower women, like I was saying earlier, to go out and, tackle that project or hobby that they've been afraid to try. I remember when I was first starting out, like kind of learning my way around the workshop as we were working on house projects. I would go to Home Depot by myself and I'd be like digging through the lumber pile and I felt like such a fish out of water. It's very much kind of like a fake it till you make it
Uh-huh.
situation. I was like, I belong here. Like, what am I doing buying wood to go build something? Like, I can't do that. And so I feel like if you have the gear to like keep up and like make you feel good and you're kind of like suiting up for that, it helps kind of get over that initial hump and that initial, like, maybe scary moment of, like, "I don't know if I can do this." So, yeah, just helping to empower women in that way.
Look the part, baby.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. 100%.
I love that.
There's something to that for sure. You look good, you feel good,
Absolutely,
all
absolutely.
the
I well,
things.
what keeps you fired up to keep chasing this dream and building Dirty Birdie to be that global, worldwide name?
Yeah, I feel like it's truly just our customers. We have the most amazing customers. I feel like they're already so loyal and the connections I've made over like social media and just over email and everything has been truly incredible. All the positive messages I've gotten of people are like, "Oh my gosh, I've needed these for so long." Like, "I love what you're doing. Keep it up." Like those are the types of things that keep me going. I never really thought of myself as an entrepreneur, to be honest. It was kinda just it was happenstance a little bit, and so it's more so it's not so much of the, like, "Oh, I need this big business type thing." It's more so like, I just wanna help these women, and
Mm.
I wanna provide what they need and empower them to go do like, reach their full potential and do what they need to do and wanna do and all those types of things. So, yeah, it's all the badass women out there.
Yes, love it. I love to hear it. I agree with that. I resonate with that, relate to it, and it's, again, hearing all of you wonderful women talk about what is firing you up, and again, it's truly stemming from the fact that, like, we just get it. We get each other. We get our needs, and we want
Yeah.
to provide the solutions out there for the those of us who know that we have a problem. We have a problem
Yes.
with availability and what's out there. So you all
Yeah.
are definitely helping fill some gaps because there's room for us all, but we're still fighting to get out there and make that space. But you're all part of it and doing a great job, and I can't wait to follow all of your stories. N-
Oh.
Now, will you let the people know where they can follow along with your journey into Pitch Fest, after, beyond, and all those things?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is heydirtybirdie.com, and that's birdie with a Y. A lot of people think it's DIE, but it's DY. And then as far as like Pitch Fest goes and just following along, probably the best place is our Instagram, which our handle is kind of the same thing. Hey Dirty Birdies.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, Anna, and best of luck at Pitch Fest.
Thank you, Taryn.
All right, next up we have Charlene Assam of Luxxefit. This one is gonna be really hard for me to keep it, like, to the outline, especially because her product, I think, is, just screaming my name because right in my need, my, like, daily need with the activities I do and just the fit that she has here. I'm gonna let her tell you all more about her product and all of that. First off, Charlene, we like to start with where are you at in the world as we record today?
Yeah, so thank you for having me. I'm actually in Atlanta, Georgia right now, so that's where I live. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, through our communications, we didn't talk about that, and so it's, like, even later for you than
Yeah. So yes.
Oh
But I
my
didn't
lord.
I knew if I told you, you would have said we should, and I was like, "No way." So and I remember I was like, "Nope, I'm just gonna play it and just act like it's PST because I used to work on Pacific time, so I'm like, "It's okay."
Oh my gosh, well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you so much for being here in this late night. We'll get right to it. So tell us about, Lux Fit. What is, like, the elevator pitch for your brand?
Absolutely, yes. So Luxxefit is an athletic wear company that we specifically focus on sports bras, but we're very unique in the fact that we focus on sports bras for large-chested women, and our emphasis is large-chested women, and we really focus on women who wear between a D to a J cup. And it's mainly because, there's a lot of need. There are a lot of women in the US who have larger chests, who wear D cup and above. Too many, honestly. And there really isn't a lot in the market as far as like finding a good and supportive sports bra. You tend to, even our regular bras are difficult to find. They tend to be expensive. And the support, which is what we need exactly, is very hard to find. So that's exactly why, I started the company 2 years ago now. And that's what we are here to solve, to be able to make sure that even women who have larger chests can also live healthy lives and be able to exercise as freely as they want to without being restricted by their boob size or breast size. Yes.
Amazing. Like I said, you are speaking directly to me. I am constantly on the search for sports bras. Over the last couple years, it's just like been a change for me and my chest size where it is, yes, so
Mhm.
difficult to find the supportive bra that can handle the different activities I do and is comfortable because as you get need more support, it's like it hurts like to have
Yeah.
too much compression. And so very hard to find the right fit for the bigger chested, and there's not as many great options out there as there are for some other sizes and whatnot. So with that, you answered pretty much like what gap you're filling in the outdoor industry. It is that gap for the larger chested women. You said your focus was on sports bras, but are there more products in your line that might be also filling this gap for the larger chested or bigger bodied humans?
Yeah, so not as of today. So our brand is solely focused on sports bras. In the future, of course, we hope to expand. But right now, we said, there's so much, the human and female body specifically is so different, so intricate. We have so many chest size. There are a lot of people who have smaller underbust, larger boobs, but, there are too many varieties, and that's one of the things we pride ourselves on being we understand that women are heterogeneous, right? Not everybody looks the same. So for now, we're like, you know what? Let's focus on bras because we all need them. So once we get that and we are very comfortable and our customers get exactly what they need, then we'll move on to the next thing.
Amazing. I love it, perfecting one thing and then moving on. Was there one moment you'd say that inspired you to start LuxFit, like an aha moment, or was it several kinda leading up to it? Tell us a little bit about where it all started.
Yeah, absolutely. So Luxfit actually started during COVID for me because I was trying to find a sports bra. I lived in New York at the time in Brooklyn. Everybody knows what was going on in Brooklyn during COVID. I knew I was going to get COVID. So I was like, okay, if I do get COVID, I need my body to be strong enough to be able to fight off the virus and everything. And then I needed to exercise, of course, to be able to do that. But I couldn't find a sports bra. Everybody knew me as Team Two Bras. I used to wear two bras all the time to work out. And I was just like, this is not even normal because like I cannot be the only person struggling. Most of the women in my family have large chests, from my mom, my grandma, literally all my sisters, my cousins. So I'm like, even just in my own immediate family, it's a very widespread problem. So there definitely has to be something. But and at the time I didn't know that this was going to be a business per se. So I started sourcing bras for myself. I was just working out, exercising on my own. February 2022, I was working out one day. I was back home in Cameroon and I wore one of the bras that we had been sourcing and I was just using it for myself. I posted it on my personal Instagram at the time and I had over 40 people reach out to me, just like, oh, where did you get this bra from? I want to buy it. Where is it? Where is it? And I was like, hold on. Maybe there's something here. And in as much as I knew there was a need at the time, I really did not know that it was this widespread, right? So that moment of like people, just family, friends, literally about 40 people reached out. That's when I was like, okay, yes, there's actually something here. And that was literally when I took it seriously and decided to actually work on it as a business. And then that year we launched in November 2022.
Awesome. I mean, that is where I think most of the great things come from is the person themselves had the problem that needed to be solved because you're actually working through it as you're developing and all that. You're personally experiencing this problem. And now, do you just have one model of the sports bra right now out that's available?
Yes, so we have the treadmill bra. I'm wearing one of them right now, but this is also another one. This is just a white color, but that's the only one we have. However, this is not what we started the brand with. So 2022, we actually had a completely different bra, but after like 1 year, I did not like the bra anymore. And then we did a really big survey of like 412 women and just asked people, what do you want to see in a sports bra? We sent it out mass and it was really good. And we took all of that feedback, and that's literally the treadmill bra that we have today. So I spent all of 2024 last year just R&D. I made my
Wow.
way. Yeah, I took myself to China because I was like, I'm tired of the middleman. I don't want it. I
Mhm.
need to talk to the factory myself. I need to do everything on my own. And then I spent some time out there really. And then that's really what, the brand that we see today. And we finally launched that in end of January, early February of this year. Yeah.
Very cool. So pretty new then. You're going to Pitch Fest with this pretty much brand new model of Lux Fit. And I'm
Yeah.
curious now then, what does being a T9 Pitch Fest finalist mean to you?
Yeah. Honestly, like it came at a very perfect time for me because, like I mentioned, we just started with this treadmill bra just in February. And in many ways, being a solo founder, like I've been doubting myself. I know that we have a phenomenal product, but it's just been very hard to be able to, manage a full time job as a CPA. Like, it's very difficult to manage all of that. And I launched this during tax season too. So it wasn't really easy but then, I applied. I'd been following like Peach Fest like from the year before. And, when I got the acceptance and said that I was going to be, it really was amazing. And I think it also really showed that one, there's a very big need. And
Mhm.
two, like people actually see that there's a need, So just being like part of Peach Fest as a finalist, I'm really excited, honestly, because I think I would be able to learn so much and then also be able to take all the lessons that I learned and really apply it into the brand and then also get to put ourselves in front of more women, which Title Nine I think is such an awesome company that is able to do that. So I think we'll be able to use this opportunity to even get in front of more women who love outdoors and also want to exercise as well.
100%. You will be speaking to your core audience for sure and just be able to meet so many more women who just widen the network of, like you said, the outdoor active woman out there. What would you say has been the biggest growth lesson? I mean, you've already talked about the changes you've gone through in just a couple years, like totally redoing the bra, taking yourself to China because you're tired of the middleman.
Yeah, I would say biggest growth lesson is just like one, I can't do everything by myself. I think that has been like a very
Mm,
big lesson for me, just learning to lean on other people and also and other people's expertise as well. I would say the other thing, honestly, has just been like just learning balance in my
mhm.
life. Yeah, between like this journey of being a founder has taught me how to I don't even know if there's even something called balance. I feel like you just integrate. I've learned how to integrate things into my life. Like, some days I have to be a full-time CPA, other days I have to be a full-time founder for Luxxefit. So I've just learned to just kind of integrate the things which are absolutely very important to me, and just kind of go from there because I think it has also taught me, the whole concept of like, when in corporate, when people talk about work-life balance,
Mhm.
I don't think some days it's 80, some days it's 20%. It's just
Exactly.
so in my mind, I just think about it like it's just taught me to like really just, integrate. And then also just like adaptability, right? It has also shown me that I'm a lot stronger than I think. Because many times I'm just like, I will tell my fiance, I'm like, I don't think today is the day. I'm like, I think the lock suit today is over. And every time, he's like, absolutely not. You're not going to quit. Like, even when I went to China, I got to one of the conferences and I literally started crying. And one of the factory owners was like, he's like, can you wipe off? He was like, wipe off your tears. And he's like, do you know what you're actually doing, right? I was like, I'm really solving a problem. And he's like, do you know I'm a man, but I can tell you how many women really, really need this thing. So he's like, absolutely, you're not gonna cry. Because I was getting frustrated, language barrier, like everything was happening at the at the same time. And he really encouraged me so much. And just, thinking that there's really a bigger purpose behind it. So just letting me not give up. Yeah.
Ah, I love that. We talk a lot about balance on this podcast too, and the lack thereof it really existing and how it usually is, like, not 50-50. It's some other
Right.
kinda split, 60-40, 70-30, whatever. I haven't heard, though, what you said and, like, just thinking of it as integrating. I like that a lot, and that's just a different way that I think I personally, too, will try to look at some things like, "Let's talk
Yeah.
about integrating this in
Yeah.
today a little more than that," or something, and making
Exactly.
sure you're getting what you need and the things that fill your cup, but obviously we know that not every day is just a walk in the park. Like you
Mhm.
just said with your experience in China, the days that you have that you're ready to throw in the towel, but you have people there behind you who are like, "No, no, no." We all need that because we all go through those days.
Yeah.
Sometimes they happen more often than not through certain phases of life. But with following that question, I'm wondering what your boldest vision for LuxFit is.
Oh, yeah. I already know this, and I knew this from the day I started Luxxefit.
I love it. This question has been
Retail.
so easy for everyone to answer,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so it just makes me feel so good to hear people because they're like, "Easiest question by far." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes."
Easy ones. Yeah. So our boldest vision is Luxfit is going to be in retail stores. Like every woman will be able to walk into any of the major department stores and buy a bra, buy multiple because it's not too expensive, and buy a good sports bra, which is wire free, but it's extremely supportive for them.
Ah, I love it. I cannot wait to see it in these retail stores and be able to load up myself. What keeps you fired up to keep chasing your dreams and to make LuxFit, like, get into all these retails and, like, have that boldest vision come to life?
Yeah, I think just realizing that there's a need, right? And it's a real problem that we're solving. One of the things that I think is a very big proposition for us is I'm not just a founder, I'm our number one customer.
Yeah.
All the pain point comes from me because underneath this shirt is a Luxury bra. So every exercise, when I go to Orange Theory, everywhere I go, it is Luxfit I'm wearing. So I think that has also I realize that there's so much need, and it just keeps me going. That a lot of us women we are talk about these things, but not much is being done to solve the problem. So
Mhm.
it's just, I really believe that my role and my passion and my purpose really with Luxfit in this industry is actually to really solve the problem. So that's what keeps me fired up and just knowing that, we're actually doing something that has true impact.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Every time I hear any one of you founders and Pitch Us finalists answer this question, it like fires me up and it makes me so excited to continue to follow all of your journeys. And speaking of following your journey, where can people find you and come along for the ride?
Yes, absolutely. So our website, of course, which is www.luxfit.co, which is luxefit.co. Our social media pages are all the same: Facebook, Luxfit, .co, Instagram, and then TikTok also. So we are active on those three platforms. Yeah.
Amazing. Awesome. So great to talk to you today, Charlene. And everybody, check the show notes. Go give Luxxefit a follow and stay tuned to hear the wrap up episode of PitchFest.
Yes, thank you.
Now we have Emily Lee with us of Peach Surf Co. And she is also kind of like a neighbor to me. So that's exciting. You're not too far. I'm really stoked to hear about what you've got going on with Peach Surf Co. So, where are you joining us from today, Emily?
I'm based in San Francisco.
Awesome. Like I said, pretty much a neighbor to me, in the grand scheme of things and where some others have been from. And when it first comes to my mind, I'm like, oh, okay. I had this with Saturday swimwear too, being from the Pacific Northwest and you being in San Francisco. People don't often think of it as like a surf hub. Are you from San Francisco or how long have you been there?
So I'm from Kansas. I was born in China, grew up in Kansas, and moved to San Francisco about 10 years ago. So I picked up surfing when I moved here and just fell in love with it.
Oh, I love it, and I love to hear that, great surfing isn't that far from me, or well,
Yeah.
at least surfing. So, will you tell us a little bit about Peach Surf Co. And
Sure, yeah. So about 2 years ago, I actually quit my job in tech to start working on Poop Surf Co because I was just obsessed with solving this very specific problem of surf hats. I was surfing a lot and my face was just getting very sun damaged from being out on the water all the time. Even with sunscreen, I just found that it washed off and I couldn't find a surf hat that actually worked. All the surf hats I could find were gray, bland, black, kind of ugly. And on top of that, they would fall off or be really distracting or get water into my eyes. And so that's kind of when I decided, if I couldn't find a hat that worked, I would make it myself.
so this question always kind of answers the next one, which is like, what gap are you filling in the outdoor industry? But if you wanna elaborate any more on that, feel free to in, how Peach Surf Co. fills this gap.
Totally. Yeah, I think just with surf hats specifically, the gap that it fills is something that is both functional and high quality, also stylish. I didn't think that you had to sacrifice style for function. I think more broadly, though, the gap that I'm trying to fill within the surf industry is that historically, a lot of gear and just a lot of surf things have been really geared towards men or geared towards people who have been surfing their whole life. And so I wanted to make something that was more inclusive to anyone, including beginners, making women feel like they can take up more space in the lineup. And that's partially why I wanted to design something that had a pop of color and fun prints, because at least here in NorCal, when you go out into the lineup, it's just a sea of black wetsuits. And so I wanted to have a fun pop of color so that you wouldn't feel kind of worried about just standing out and just being yourself a little bit more.
And it's also, like, a way just where people can find you, right? I feel like it can even have a little bit of that safety, part in it where if you have friends on the beach or something like, "Okay, I'm in this, like, colorful pink hat or whatnot," so they can keep your eyes on you, or even just for fun, if you know that friends are in the area or something like, "Oh, yeah, I'm out here surfing," and they know exactly how to find you because 'cause you'll have like, your your usual Peach Surf Co. hat on or something like, "Oh, there she is out there, like, having fun," and, just a fun way to be recognized or again, could even be like a partial safety mechanism. Would you say that there was one aha moment for you or just a compilation of this frustration in looking for a surf hat?
Yeah, I would say maybe the aha moment was one time when I was surfing. I had a big wipe out. I lost my hat. I came up for air. When I finally put my hat back on, fighting with my surf hat, then I actually did surfing. And so, I decided to one that worked. And I think on top of that, it was right around the time that I really wanted to challenge myself and just push myself to grow and try doing something that I felt very uncomfortable doing and didn't actually know how to do it and just figure it out.
Yeah, you said you came from the tech world, so I'm sure that sounds like maybe no experience with textiles and sewing and things like that, and we hear that a lot too, which is always inspiring to me when people don't have this skill set, just go into something totally opposite of what they're doing because I feel like we need more of that, right? Again, if it's you who has the problem that you're trying to solve, you don't have to have those skill sets. You can go out and learn and, find the people maybe that do or learn the skills or what you need yourself, or at least, yeah, just talking to more people and helping get these solutions solved is the first step. So are surf hats your number 1 and only thing right now?
Correct.
Do you have a few
Yeah,
different
but
styles
you know,
or, okay.
uh, yeah, right now the surf hats come a bunch of different colors. I think there's, 10 colors out there. But for me, honestly, surf hats are just the beginning. I think there's still a ton of space in the market, even just within surfers, to drive more awareness of, protecting your face while you're out there surfing. But beyond surfers, anyone who's out on the water all the time, if you're fishing or boating or kiteboarding, all of those hats, I think I really want Peach to be a head to toe lifestyle brand. So think surf ponchos, swimsuits, eventually wetsuits, basically anything that marries, style and function and performance in this space. So I think there's just a lot of room to keep growing.
It sounds amazing, and I mean, I've seen your hats online, and I've thought like, "Wait, it's a surf hat, but, like, can I wear it just around?" Because they are so cute. They just, like, look like cute, adorable bucket hats, and I love what you mentioned there, just trying to create a bigger ecosystem eventually, and per usual, it doesn't have to be just the one function. You don't have to be a surfer, but if you are on the water, and obviously there's gonna be a little more function to this hat than some others, but you can find a way to get function in your life if you're out in the sun and near the water, it sounds like.
Totally.
I'm curious what being a Pitch Fest finalist means to you.
Yeah. I think for me, being a finalist means that, it's proof that a small brand can kind of compete toe to toe with some of the giants. And it also means that you can start a business out of your kitchen pantry in your small San Francisco apartment. And you don't need millions of dollars to start something. I think you really just need to be consistent and kind of be okay being outside of your comfort zone and just thinking about building a product that people will love.
You hit the nail on the head right there, and it's what I've been seeing about Title Nine posting lately too, as we're leading up to Pitch Fest this week, this Friday, September 26th, is that there has been winners who, didn't have the full product in hand, didn't have their packaging, and they've still gone on to win because that's just Title Nine believes in what everyone is doing here, and so it just makes it feel possible that, like you just said, you have of course, you'll be out of your comfort zone, but you don't have to have all of these things set in stone and have it be perfect before you could start to get your idea out there into the world, and I'm sure you have learned a lot so far and are still learning a lot. Is there anything particular that you would say has been your biggest growth lesson so far?
Yeah, I would say my biggest lesson so far is that, no one is qualified when they start, and you become qualified by just trying and failing and experimenting and just continuing to show up. There's a quote by Ira Glass that I think about a lot, which is, when you start something creative, there's a gap between where you are and where you kind of envision yourself and where your taste is. And the only way to actually close that gap is by doing it and practicing and kind of sucking at it. And so I think that's been the biggest lesson is just stay in it and be consistent.
Love it. I love that you don't have to be qualified. You get qualified in the process. What would you say is your boldest vision for your company?
My boldest vision is that when you hear Peach, it's just as much of a household name as something like Rip Curl or Billabong or Roxy.
Amazing. You guys all have had such great answers for this, and it's amazing to hear these answers come so easy to you all. And I'm just really excited to continue to follow your journey. And what does keep you fired up to keep chasing this dream and reach that bold vision?
I would say what keeps me fired up is just that in the way that I'm showing up for myself and continuing to show up, even when it feels hard or even when I have self doubt or don't know what I'm doing. I want to kind of be able to take those lessons and share it with other people so that, other women feel just as empowered to chase after whatever dream they have and to also kind of overcome those feelings of self doubt and really just be able to unlock whatever their vision is for their life.
Amazing. So great. Tell us, Emily, where people can find you and support you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at Peach Surf Co. You can find the hats at peachsurfco.com. And you can also find hats in some of the surf shops here in the Bay and in Southern California, like at Mollusk Travelers or Proof Lab.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to get to see you actually tomorrow. If you're all listening to this, it'll be today that I get to meet Emily in person. And everyone, again, check the show notes to follow everyone and stay tuned to hear all about Pitch Fest and what happens next.
Thank you.
That is a wrap on our episode with this year's Title Nine PitchFest finalists. Stay tuned to hear more about PitchFest and follow along to find out who this year's winners are and support them all through the show notes and check out what they're doing, follow their journeys, and continue to support women-owned amazing brands.